Hi everyone, this is Intermediate Music Theory, lesson number 5. We're going to be talking about key signatures and more, and specifically how to figure out the different keys that correspond to the different key signatures. So in the exercise video last week, I started introducing the idea of how to figure out what key the different key signatures belong to. And I started introducing the concept of the circle of fifths and some of those things. So today we're gonna talk about that some more to spend some more time really figuring this out. So I will not be using musictheory.net for this lesson because if you look, key signature identification has a lesson in musictheory.net that has a mathematical method with simple adding and subtracting numbers, which I think is interesting, and I certainly encourage you guys to go check it out and see if it resonates with you or if it makes sense to you and you like that method. You can certainly use it. That method is not a standard way to teach key signature recognition, and certainly not the way I learned, and I've decided not to cover that lesson in my video. Instead, I will show you the more traditional way that this is taught at most music schools, because I think it's important that you guys understand this very well, as this is the way that is going to be introduced almost everywhere. So when we talk about key signatures, we explain the concept of the circle of fifths. And the idea of the circle of fifths is that if we start in C natural, which I have the keyboard here, if we go up a perfect fifth, an interval of a perfect fifth, we go up from C, and that's where we're going to start having our sharp keys, our sharp key signatures. And so a perfect fifth above C gives us G natural or G major, and it's going to have one sharp. Now, if we go down from C, a perfect fifth, we end up with F natural. And F natural, or F major in this case, has one flat in the key signature. And as you can see, that's how the circle of fifths work. Now, if you continue this process, you will see how the circle of fifths are actually laid out above. So let's take a look over here, and I actually pulled it up in Noteflight so you can see all the key signatures side by side. So if we start in C major, which is up here, and by the way, this is for the major keys, as you can see. These tricks, all these ideas work with major keys. We'll talk about how to get the minor keys in a second, which I didn't talk about in the last video. So starting in C natural, C major, if we go up the circle of fifths, our first step is G, and G major is going to have one sharp, F sharp, and remember what I mentioned before, the last sharp in the sequence is always going to be the leading tone of the key. Remember, the leading tone is the 7th degree of the scale that is separated by a half step from the tonic, or the first degree. So in this case, F sharp is only half step away from the next G above, and that's why it's the leading tone. So F sharp is the leading tone of G, and therefore G major. So if we go up a fifth from G natural, and I want to play it in the keyboard, G natural, D natural is the next fifth above. So D natural is going to have two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. And notice here that C sharp is the leading tone of D natural. So that is how we know two sharps belongs to D major as well. So the last sharp in the sequence is always going to be the leading tone of the key. All right, moving up another fifth above D natural is going to be A natural. And I'll come back to the keyboard one more time so that you see it. So D natural, perfect fifth above is A natural. Okay? A natural, we're gonna add another sharp to that. This is gonna be our 3 sharp major key. So F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Note that G sharp is the leading tone of A natural. So that's what lets us know that this is A major. If we continue, so the next fifth above A is E natural. And also note that the final sharp in E major is a D sharp. D sharp is the leading tone of E natural. And we have our 4 sharp key. Now, the next key is B major, which is B is a perfect fifth above E natural. And we also have the final sharp of this key signature is A sharp, which is the leading tone of B natural. Moving on, the next note above B is F sharp. And the final sharp is E sharp. E sharp is also the same pitch as F natural. Remember that. It's an enharmonic spelling. So E sharp is a half step below F sharp. Therefore, is the leading tone of F sharp. And finally, C sharp is a perfect fifth above F sharp. And the final leading tone, and the final sharp is B sharp. B sharp is the same pitch as C natural, just a different enharmonic spelling, but the same pitch as C natural. And C natural, we know, is only a half step below C sharp. So B sharp is a half step below C sharp. All right, so those are our sharp keys. And let's talk about the flat keys. Are exactly the same idea, but going down the circle of fifths. So from C natural, going down, we have F natural, and that's our first flat, it's B flat. The next perfect fifth below is going to be B flat, and B flat is a perfect fifth below F natural, by the way. And we now have 2 flats, B flat and E flat. Now look at what starts happening in the flat keys is that the second to last flat is actually going to be on the note that is marked for the major key. So this B flat is the second to last flat. Just so happens to be the same as the B flat major of the key. And you see that that's going to start working out from now on. The next perfect fifth below B flat is E flat. E flat major has 3 flats, B flat, E flat, and A flat. And you notice that the second to last flat, which is second to last, is E flat. That lets us know that this is E flat major. Now, say we're gonna jump a couple steps. We're following the same logic and we get to 5 flats. If we didn't know this was D flat, rather than counting all the way through here, we could just look at the second to last flat. So this is the last and second to last, or the penultimate. That's D flat, and that lets us know that this is D flat major. Same thing here. If we didn't know that this was C flat because it wasn't written, rather than having to count, we could just take a look at last flat and second to last flat. The second to last flat is C flat, and then we would know that we have C flat major. So as you can see, these are like a few different tricks that you can find. Now, we didn't talk about how we get the minor. So the minor is really quite simple. Once you figured out the major, you can take what's called the relative minor of each of these keys to figure out what the minor keys are. For every key signature and every major key, there is a relative minor key that has the same key signature. And I'm going to actually switch this over right now so you see. We get the relative minor by going down from the major key, a minor third. And we'll talk about that in a second. So let's just take a look at C natural here and C major and G major. In order to get the relative minor, we're going to take C natural down a minor third, which is going to be A natural. And this one, G, is going to become E natural. That's a minor third below G. So we're going to end up with A minor and E minor. Let me switch over now to the minor so you see all the minor keys that go with these key signatures. So as you can see, this is A natural, and A, in case you are not really sure, is a minor third below C natural. So we have C natural here, and remember that a minor third is 3 semitones. So we're going to go down A, 1, 2, 3. That's our minor third below. So that's A minor. Now the same thing here, we've had G major, and now we have E minor. So if we start in G, a minor third below that is G, 1, 2, 3. That's our minor third. So E minor is our relative minor key with 1 sharp. Same thing over here. So we, for the first flat key, major key, we had F major. If we take that a minor third, we end up with D minor. Let's go back. So this is F natural. A minor third below is F, 1, 2, 3, D minor. And you can do the same thing for every single one of these keys, and you will see that it works out for every single one of them. So just a quick way that you can figure out those keys is use the tricks for the major keys, and then convert. If you need to get the minor key, you can just go down a minor third from the major key, and you'll get your relative minor key very quickly. All right, so that's all for this lesson. I hope that this was clear, not too confusing. Key signatures are a little bit, it's a kind of a lot of, concepts at first, but if you spend some time with it, you'll see that it's actually pretty straightforward. All right, see you guys later.